Hello friends, welcome to the channel, and in this video we're going to talk about career mistake, something that can cost you years of your career. You can be ambitious, disciplined, and a smart professional, but if you plant yourself in the wrong soil, it won't matter. You can prune, you can water, and grind all you want. You'll still struggle to grow, because when the soil is poor, your growth stalls. And here is a danger. You can easily lose 5 years of your career life without even realizing. In my view, it can take years to realize a place isn't built for you. The first couple of years goes into learning the ropes. The next few years goes into usually trying harder, hoping it clicks. And before you know it, 5 years have passed. You have worked, yes, but not at your full potential. You were stuck in the soil that never let you flourish. So how do you avoid this trap? That's what we're going to explore in this video. First, we'll zoom out to something most people completely overlook, yet it is the foundation of your entire career. Second, we'll uncover the hidden factor that quietly shapes your habits, your skills, and even your identity. And it's probably not what you think. And third, we'll make it practical with a way to turn all this into a focused plan you can actually act on it. Stick with me, because each step builds on the next, and missing even one of them could be the reason people end up wasting 5 years. Let's start with you, not the employer. Because if you don't know where you want to go, no employer will ever feel right. I love what Seneca says. If a man does not know to which port he is sailing, no wind is favorable. That's where the Odyssey Plan comes in. I love this because you can sketch out 3 possible 5-year futures. I did this with one of my clients. On one pass, he saw himself as management consultant. He'd done an MBA and was already on that track. On a second pass, when we looked at that together, he imagined moving to HR and people strategy, a direction where he could shape organization and support growth from within. And in a third scenario, more out-of-the-box version, he pictured becoming a football coach. When we looked at it and he compared them, a pattern emerged. So he doubled down on that theme and became an HR strategy consultant, a role he could coach, guide, and support people every day. That's the power of Odyssey Plan. It doesn't hand you the answer, but it shows you the theme you should lean into. And once you have that compass, you can start asking, what kind of soil do I need for this growth? Now that you have the direction, it's time to look outward, because your employer isn't just a paycheck. It's the soil where your habits, your skills, and identity take root. For example, in a fast-moving startup, you start developing agility and ownership. In a bureaucratic organization, you develop habits of waiting approvals. Aristotle said this nicely. We are what we are repeatedly do. In the right environment, your skills compound. In the wrong one, you repeat the same low-value task for years. In my view, if you work for a mission-driven company and you start to see yourself as part of something bigger, in a toxic culture, you may start to see yourself as just a number. So think about it. Every job you take is not just work. It's a version of yourself you're agreeing to become. And to me, this is the challenge. In the real world, you need to find employers that support you across all 3, your habits, your skills, and your identity. Think of it as a Venn diagram. Ideally, you want to land where all 3 overlaps, a company that nurtures how you work, what you learn, and who you become. That's why the right soul is so critical. And it's not easy, to be honest, which is exactly why you need to think about your next employer strategically. But how do you actually do that? In this context, to be strategic and intentional, I would go broad. And I can think of a long list of 50 target employers. I know it sounds long, but if you want to be strategic, you need to start broad. 50 target employer is the sweetest spot in my view. Big enough to make sure you don't miss any angles or fall into bias, but it's still small enough to be manageable for your strategic move. And here is the key. You don't build this by naming companies one by one at random. You build it by thinking in category and broadly. There are certain categories that comes to my mind. Dream employers, companies that you love working for them. Another category, employers that hire people like you. Think about your alma mater classmate or friends that are working at those companies. Another category that comes to my mind is growing employers, employers on a hyper growth trajectory. Another category can be what I call buzz employers. They are making so much noise in different avenues like culture, innovation, growth. Once you have built this broad list or long list, the next step is to, again, approach it strategically. And that's where prioritization comes in, because not every company deserves the same attention. And here is how I would approach it. Score each one on simple criteria. Think about criteria that are relevant to you. For instance, are they hiring in your area? How motivated are you to work there? Is the location realistic? Do you have any connection inside that organization? These aren't random questions. These are the levers that determine where your effort will pay off fastest. Make the average of these scores in an Excel sheet, and your top 10 to 15 employers become your tier A list. The companies where you should focus your research, networking, and energy. And once you have scored and prioritized your list, here's where it gets even more powerful. In my low emotional ladder networking strategy, I use this exact system to decide where to network strategically. That's how you increase your chance of breaking into those top priority employers. If you are curious to learn that strategically in detail, just comment masterclass below and I'll share you the sign up link once the masterclass is up and running. So with this, you can now maybe feel more confident about the direction you want to take in your career. How to choose employers that align with your habits, your skills, and your identity. And how to research and prioritize them strategically instead of guessing. That's the first step, building clarity and focus. But clarity alone doesn't land you a job. The real challenge after this is putting this into practice, actually breaking into those companies and using strategies that give you an edge over other candidates. And that's exactly what we'll dive into next. So if you want to learn how to tap into the hidden job market, the biggest piece of the pie, by leveraging common platforms like LinkedIn, but in ways most job seekers completely miss, click here to dive right into it.